think we're back, or at least I am. Not sure if people can hear me.
Nope. It looks like we're back.
Maybe. Yeah, we are. We are on the stream again. Sorry about that disruption, folks. Had a little internet issue, but we're back. Since you've been gone, had some knights and bishops exchanged. We had a couple rooks exchanged. And now we have a very even, perhaps somewhat uninteresting position for experienced players. This seems like a position that really lends itself to a draw.
Yeah, I think I favor black here, but that's just because I think white is going to end up with a double up pawn here.
Yep. Yeah, I think it might really, Kyle, to get the win at this point, I think might have to rely on almost John making a mistake.
Yeah, especially now, because I think you're going to be playing this in-game with pawn down. Yeah, that is a high-level move. H blocking off that square for the king to get out. Super annoying.
Yeah, I think Kyle gotta probably do. Oh no, I would have said F2, but I think it's fine. Like I said, really, I would expect this to end in a draw without a mistake. I mean, without mistake, it should be a draw. But even with those double pawns, I don't
I think
John breaks through without Kyle making a little bit of a mess up. But
yeah, I think you needed to play F3 there, but winning that pawn I don't think does you any long-term good, because eventually you're going to just lose that pawn on H3. It's isolated most likely.
Yeah, Kyle moving rook to A1, he can't take A6 at all without getting back rank mated at this point. So yeah, I think moves the king over. See, takes the pawn there. Now Kyle trades in kind. See if we get a check here.
Yeah, and the problem is there's just nothing in this position that you can really go after without somebody making a big mistake.
Yeah, both players, I think, both with 13 minutes, looks like. Yep. I think that would probably be enough time for either player to solidify a draw. Even in this position, I don't see a big issue happening. Kyle defends.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. What? So you were about to take a sip and then I made my move and you're like, ugh. This is all part of like the subtle art of manipulating your opponent. Throwing.
Yeah, and I just don't see any way for either player to have a winning opportunity in this game. Maybe if black can just march their king out and start snagging up some of these pawns, but I think after something like, even if you just move the king out to F6, just a simple rook to B3 hitting the other black pawn, I think that the game becomes very drawish very quickly.
Rook b2 here. Well, Kyle pushes. Interesting thought, but take the. I assume he's going to take the H pawn now. Does make it a little harder to defend. That pass pawn. John doesn't really need to worry about that H pawn being pushed, so he can focus on trying to promote that C pawn. Maybe this is where he gets his advantage.
Yeah, and I don't see immediately how you cast this then, but maybe you just pick up that pawn and then you're able to get the king over there fast enough. I think I'm playing c3 with the rook here, but maybe after rook h7 with those double pawns, your king is just closer and just getting Zeus falling towards the end.
Yeah, either way, I don't think Kyle. Yeah, even if this ends in a draw, this ends the series with John taking the series overall. So Kyle, at this point, as far as the series perspective, I think is kind of running out of opportunity at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to find some way of winning a pawn without losing a pawn, and that's about the only way that he can possibly win this. And I think with Black having the pass pawn, you're quite a ways away from doing that.
Yep. Oh, that king move swings it back to a draw position according to the computer.
Yeah, and that's because that's the wrong direction. You need to move the other way. I think you just have.
Kyle checks. No, the king can go back in the right direction if John chooses. Oh yeah, John knows he can take a repetition check and still win the series. So Kyle now pushing the H pawn.
Oh, this is a dirty diaper. Someone dirtied my diapers. This is just a nasty mess.
Yeah, and I think I do like that pawn push. You're just able to move the king up, move the pawn to f3. I think eventually you end up getting in trouble from Black Rook eventually getting to the back line, and then you having to take that c pawn, and most likely it just ends in yet another draw. But I like the position better now with that king over sequestered to the corner than I did a few moves ago. That's easier for Black to mess up.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, John can actually force a draw more or less pretty quickly. He really doesn't have to do much except threaten that H pawn with his king, which means Kyle's king has to stick close by. And if he kind of loses that, yeah, Kyle can't go over, move his king out of the area without John, threatening that H pawn and blasting open that king side. Kyle's just gonna have to stick where he is, and I think repetition draw is eventually gonna happen. I think, which is
or the 50 move draw, one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, John could just move his king back and forth, or he could even just leave his king in front of the H pawn, move his rook back and forth, or up and down, I guess. Kyle can't really respond. There's no way to respond.
I know I can't though. I can't. But I also can't win. There's no win in this position.
You traded everything down. You were doing that.
Why'd you make me do that, John?
did that.
You incentivized this horse shit.
Complaints abound.
Can't believe you're a father. Just so mean to me.
Kyle realizing he doesn't have any
attacked.
outlet. There it
That was
is.
a good game.
Repetition draw.
That was a good game.
We drew again with me with the black pieces. Like the last time I had the black pieces, we drew too.
If it wasn't a playoff situation, I would be thrilled with this game.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah, and
yeah, that was good. I think both of us were playing reservedly.
Well,
Ish.
yes, but the position opened up in such a way that there could have been fireworks. Like, yeah,
Right.
Our last game was very closed and like, you know, it was very difficult for either of us to get inside. You know, but
Yeah, there you go. Good analysis from the players. I agree with Kyle. As far as the single game goes, nothing to be ashamed of there. But when you look at the overall series, he had to get the win and was not able to do it. So I think we're gonna talk to Kyle here. Get him on the mic.
Yo,
Here he is, Kyle. Draw game. I think you and John were just discussing. It viewed as a single game, nothing to be ashamed about. I think you played pretty well, but in the context of the overall series, that eliminates you, not moving on. So sorry about that, but how do you feel overall?
are you kidding? Like, I'm the winner. I don't have to play any more chess. Like, I'm done. This poor fuck has to go play Wyatt. Like, oh, maybe not necessarily. Producer Ashley
Yeah,
is
I
screaming.
think if Victor wins or Anthony wins, possibly not.
Oh, why? Who's
there's
Anthony
different
playing?
permutations, huh?
Why? Who is Anthony
playing-
playing?
He's playing me.
Oh, you have some skin in the game. This is unfair. You get to watch and commentate all these games, and like, no wonder you're winning. Like, you're a cheater. Cheater fun.
I think we were just saying John is the one who studies his opponents and prepares.
Yes, and I studied the blade, so clearly that he made a better investment in his time.
So we have other Division One current leader Wyatt here watching the game as well. Wyatt, did you have some observations or questions for Kyle?
yeah, Kyle. I'm pretty sure this game makes you even on the season with playing John. Like, this game make you happy, or like, were you pretty happy as like just holding your own in Division One? Was like, and where do you think you've improved probably the most throughout this season?
John had commented while we were playing about like tactics. He's like, somebody taught you tactics. Like, you learned tactics. And it was like, because I was really proud, I think, of just winning that pawn back in that game. That was a defining moment. I don't know. My life has been rather like very chaotic throughout this season, so I'm just happy that I've kept it competitive. And now that my life is sort of coming back to normal, or some version thereof, like, yeah, a foundation to build on. So I'm gonna take a much needed break, and then hopefully study some chess and maybe even make you sweat a little bit, Wyatt.
I think you've already managed to do that a few times, but congratulations on the well played season.
Thank you. I love making you sweat. You know that, baby. I'm gonna give this up to John.
There you go, Kyle. Final game for him of season 2. And now we will talk to our winner. And now
Hello.
semi-finalist
Yes,
John.
I know. I
Favorite-
can't say I'm like the most proud of that way of getting to the semifinals, but it's fine. Yeah.
Well, I think I think that's a completely fine way to play. Get a win or a draw. A draw is as good as a win.
Yeah, I mean, I
We'll go
see
for it.
you see chess players do this all the time in tournaments where if they only need a draw, they're just playing not to screw up. So yeah.
Yeah.
So which is what I did. Yeah, I saw in the game review that I missed a chance to win Kyle's bishop tactically, but other than that.
Oh yeah, we were looking at that. Even we didn't even spot that right away. It took us a little analysis to figure out that. Yeah, and finally see that pawn push. So yeah, I don't think. I again, I think both players really played a game they could have been they should have been proud of.
Yeah, no, it was tight. I played the French defense against Kyle again because I usually get wins or draws with that. And this time it opened up way more than the last time we did it, so I thought there was going to be more fireworks, but it kind of became a trade fest and stuff. So
Yeah, Wyatt, other fellow Division One player here commenting as well.
Yeah.
Wyatt, some questions for our winner, John. Our draw.
How many games of mine have you studied, and should I be scared if I happen to play you? That's how scared should I be?
Oh, your games? I've looked at a few, but the problem with you is you play all different things. Like you don't stick to one opening usually. I mean, you play a lot of D-pawn openings, I guess, but you also mix in other weird things. So it's not like I could prep for one thing against you, right? So I think we'll have a fun time if we play. There's still a chance apparently that we won't meet in the semifinals because Victor won tonight and Anthony's still technically alive against Funk. So yeah.
Yes, that's right. And there's lots of people still left to play in the game.
Yeah.
Congrats on the draw there. It was I think a pretty excellent game outside that one pawn miss. I feel like you handled things really well. I think there was one moment where I was a little bit confused about you going the opposite direction with the king towards the side of the board at one point.
Oh yeah, at the end. Yeah, I should have went to the F file instead of the H file, so the rook, because the rook could have kept checking me and pushing me away. Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that, but at the end of the day, it still leads to a draw. So I almost figured you just thought that was the safer way to draw the game. So I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, no, I should have just went to the F file. It would have been safer. I didn't want to. Yeah, I guess I didn't want to bring my king too far forward with the rook still there, but the rook was kind of stuck defending the pass pawn. So,
So, semifinalists now. Do you have any of the remaining Division One players you'd prefer to match up against, or are you just you're gonna take it as it comes?
No, I love everyone in our division. It's a lot of fun playing everyone. You and me have really fun games. With Wyatt, I just try to surprise Wyatt a little bit with a weird opening or something, And then Lucas is nasty. I kind of don't want to play Lucas, but yeah, he's gotten really nasty. But it'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. I think we're gonna.
You in fact cannot play Lucas until the final, by the way.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There's one player you don't have to worry about.
Thank you, producer Ashley.
Yeah, like I said, congratulations.
Well, wait,
good luck the rest of the way.
unless Funk loses, that's the only caveat.
So you have to lose all your stuff to Anthony. Like you have to just bomb against Anthony, and then I'll be playing Lucas. Yeah.
Are you saying I can't bomb? Is that what you're saying?
I haven't seen you totally. I don't think I've seen you totally collapse. Yeah.
We shall see.
Actually, I'm doing a terrible job at looking this up. Victor winning also complicates things. We don't know who John is playing, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reseeding
is very up in the air. Yeah. That's why I said it could. If you have a preference, it seems like you could face almost anybody. So
yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I like playing all of y'all. Yeah.
So okay, I think we're wrapping up for good now. Thanks again, John. Congratulations.
All right. Have a good night, fellas.
Yes, and that's gonna do it for us tonight. Maybe we'll get some more playoffs. Play us a little harder schedule. We'll see. But thanks for joining us anyway. Olympia Blunders. Thanks to Toad for joining for the first match. I'm Funk, Wyatt here in the booth as well. Producer Smashley tonight helping us out with the arrows. And thanks to Three Magnets as always for being gracious hosts. Make sure to if you go to any of the clips or watch back, you can find the sign up links or the Discord links. Those are all in there. And thanks for joining us.
Have a great night, everybody.